What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I have with me Ollie, who is a longtime member of Empire Blueprint, one of the first people to join. I mean, you were there pretty early on at the very beginning. He was a fitness coach who had already been posting on social media for quite a while, but he came to Empire Blueprint wanting to scale up his fitness coaching business and learn how to monetize his audience a little bit better, turn his page from a page of viewers to a page of buyers. And he's sitting here with us today, having successfully done that, having scaled up very substantially. And so, Ollie, if you could just go ahead and give us a little bit of a background. Tell us like where you're from, so like what country, and then tell us where you were at when you first joined Empire Blueprint and what everything was looking like.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So, as you all know, my name's Ali. I've been working with Empire Blueprint since about June or July of 2025. I'm originally from India. I came here for college, I want to say 14 years ago in 2012, and I've lived in Texas and Washington, D.C., and so I run my coaching business from the U.S. So like I said, I joined Empire Blueprint a little less than a year ago, and I had a lot of followers. My account grew really quickly from like 500 to 100,000 basically overnight. In May of last year, I want to say April or May, but I had a problem that I had so many followers, but nobody was buying my fitness coaching offer. Right? Nobody was hitting me up. Nobody was interested. And so I was kind of lost there. And I was very new to things. I actually launched my business in June, and I was at about, I want to say $1,000 a month at best. And now I'm like 5x that, 4 to 5x that consistently. Even on slower months, I'm on like the 4x side, where I've been busy with other things. The months I'm putting in effort, it easily scales up to over 5K.
Very good. So consistently hitting 5K months now. And when you came to Empire Blueprint, you were sitting around that 1K mark. Were you working a job when you first came to us? Were you working a 9-to-5 job? And if you weren't, what was the previous time when you were working a full-time job for the man?
I've been working a full-time job my entire life, basically. After college, after my PhD, it's just been work. So I'm passionate about a variety of things, right? So the first is I like what I do at work, and so I do that. I also like fitness, and I like fitness coaching, and I do it out of passion. And so I have that, and I run another business on the side. Excuse me. So I have 3 jobs basically, and I love all 3 of them equally.
Okay, so as of right now, you're still working your 9-to-5 job?
I am.
Gotcha. And could you break down for us, what exactly does that job entail?
So that job is basically a data analysis job, right? So, a lot of coding, a lot of research, a lot of analytics, which kind of helps me program my fitness coaching also in a very analytical sense and science-based sense. So, my clients get the results they want, which is backed by evidence. And,
for sure.
And a day in my life looks like I wake up at 6:37. I get in a quick workout, and then I'm working my 3 jobs until 8 p.m. creating content. I'm always thinking about the next step ahead, which is kind of good. I like it that way.
There you go. So you're working a 9-to-5 job right now as a computer programmer. And so you're on top of that. You've built up your fitness coaching business to the point where you're making all of this extra income. And then you said that you had another thing that you were also doing?
Yes. So I buy and sell luxury watches.
There you go. Okay. You are a man of many hats, my friend. That is great. So you're buying and selling luxury watches, working a 9-to-5 job as a computer programmer, and on top of that, you are also running a fitness coaching business that's doing, consistently 5K a month.
But let me be very clear when I say this, right? I worked that 9-to-5 job out of choice. If I put in the amount of effort I did in my 9-to-5 and my other business into fitness, I would have expanded at a much more substantial rate. It's by choice. I just chose to stick
Yeah.
where I'm
Well,
at
that's
right now.
great, dude. I mean, that's fantastic. You've overall built up your life in a way that you really like it. And you get to dip into these different passions and monetize them without it taking up all of the space and the time and the thought in your life, which I think is really cool. What it does is it allows you to almost keep it as this thing that's fun and that's exciting and that's new, that's entertaining, that only adds to the quality of your life and adds to your ability to obviously be financially comfortable without it becoming this, oh, I have this job, I have to wake up every single morning and do that. I think a lot of guys tend to get burned out when they first start on their journey as an entrepreneur because they'll just launch full-time 16 hours plus a day into fitness. And what they'll quickly find is they're like, oh, I got into fitness because I was passionate about it, but now I kind of hate it because it feels like my job and it's something that I have to do all the time. And then they just burn out and then they're done. Like most personal trainers, most online fitness coaches quit within the first 1 to 2 years. Those are the statistics. So what has it been like for you building that up while working a 9-to-5 job? Has there been a lot of extra stress, or do you feel like you've been able to manage it? And how do you go about balancing these things?
Yeah, I just want to preface this by saying, when you build something from passion, right, your clients see it, right? Your content reflects it, right? The clients, they put in the work because they're confident that you're invested in them. You're doing it out of passion, right? The monetary stuff is nice, but it's a consequence of the effort you're going to put into the client, their retention, their references, their referrals to other clients, future clients, their spouse, bringing them in, their friends, etc., right? Giving you testimonials. And so, it takes a little bit of time to build. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you're very passionate about something, always stick to it, right? The money comes as a nice consequence. If you're in the fitness business just for money and nothing else, it's going to reflect on the way you treat your clients, the amount of attention you give them. And so, I've capped the number of clients I take on to 30 because that's what I can handle by giving each and every one of them the attention they want, they need to progress and achieve their health goals. Right?
There you go.
So, coming back to your question of 9 to 5 and the stress and the productivity around it, I think I'm able to handle it well, right? I did this, again, like I said, out of passion. And so I'm passionate. I'm checking with my clients. Any break I get from work, I'm texting my clients. I'm seeing what they're up to. In the evening after work, I create some content. I work on building up my business, improving the product much more, creating resources for my clients, basically. So I have a platform, right, where I have a bunch of guides for them, have a bunch of videos for them, just to educate them along the process, right? The goal is not for me to have them dependent on me forever, right? It's for them to learn to be independent after a while so that my passion reflects in their ability to live a healthy life. And so I would say, it's not stressful if you're passionate about it. Now, if you treat it as a 9-to-5 job and you're only invested in the money and you're constantly thinking about, oh, I've only made $100 this month, or I've only made $250 this week, I need to push, it's good, right? But it's going to decrease the quality of your work because you're so stressed about it. Instead, use that mindset, use the effort, use that energy to focus on your clients. They will bring in more clients. They'll give you more testimonials. It will reflect on your product. It will reflect on you, on your reputation.
There you go. All right. So passion is really driving you to dip into these, other avenues. And it's awesome that your passions just happen to make you good money too. Like that's really cool. Trading luxury watches, buying and selling them. That's also very, very awesome that it ties in very well. Are you somebody that's married, or do you have a girlfriend? Give us a little bit of your current relationship situation and what that's looked like for you over the past 12 months.
I'm married. I've been married the last 12 months, and
Gotcha.
so it's important. I find balance between work and life too. I set out
There
time
you
with
go.
my wife to spend time with her, to go out with her.
That is awesome, man. So you're juggling all of these different things. And has it been difficult for you? I guess what I found is that for somebody who is going to have a 9-to-5 job, but then they're also going to be married on top of that, Was it hard for you to find that balance where you're giving enough attention to your spouse, but at the same time, you're putting energy and effort towards improving yourself? Is she very understanding of that? Has there been problems in the past? Just for those who might be watching this, who are in a relationship and they're scared that this might take away from something along those lines.
Yeah, if you're married or if you're in a relationship, having a supportive partner can make or break your entire business, right? Because, online fitness coaching goes a lot beyond just checking with clients. It also includes client acquisition, right? Creating content, learning about new systems, learning about new learning about new things in education, right, about fitness, etc. So there are going to be moments when you do have to shift the balance to one side. Sometimes it's going to be on the work heavy side, sometimes it's going to be on the social life, right? There are different moments, there are different phases. Initially, when I first joined Empire, when I first grew my social media channel, it was a little difficult finding balance, right? Because you're taking so many new things at a time, and it didn't happen gradually for me. It happened basically overnight, right? My social media grew. I launched a fitness coaching business, right? So the first 2-3 months, they were overwhelming for both of us, right? I was dedicating a lot more of my time to fitness coaching than I did previously. I was dedicating a lot more time to social media. I went from posting once a day maybe to like 3 to 5 times a day, right? Just to keep the momentum going. But my wife understood. She understood that this is a phase in my life where I am going to be busy. I am going to be exploring new challenges and taking on new opportunities, and she was very supportive. So it never really caused a rift in our relationship or any problems at all. And it's important to acknowledge that you should be willing to do the same thing for your spouse if they're in that situation, right? If you were to trade places with them and they were launching their fitness coaching and you happen to be the spouse without a fitness coaching business or starting a new business, you should tell yourself or ask yourself, would I do the same thing? And both of you should be on the same wavelength. Otherwise, it's never going to work. If one of you is not supportive of the other, it's going to break really quickly.
Gotcha. There you go. I think that that's some really good advice right there. And in your situation, do you work from your computer for your 9 to 5 job?
I do.
Gotcha. So pretty much everything that you do is online. You have the ability to travel, to be home, and to probably use your time a little bit more flexibly.
Yeah. So I'm very flexible with my time. I don't have to spend 30 minutes, an hour commuting back and forth to the office. I can do it from home. That saves time for me to film content or check in with my clients or see what they're up to, build my product even better. Right? So in that sense, I am lucky that I don't have to be in the office.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, saving a lot of time doing that. You're balancing, having a wife, doing the watch trading, and then also running the online business. And the work that you do for the 9 to 5 job, your main reason for keeping it, is it because you really do enjoy it, because you really like it? It probably has something to do with the stability as well.
It's an enjoyment thing. I'm not worried too much about stability. I know the fitness, if I put in the same effort on my fitness coaching business, it will grow, right? I think I was unsure at when I first started fitness coaching, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to, well, I had a lot of followers. I didn't know how to really hone in on my content, really hone in on my product. And, Empire helped with that a lot, right? So, the first couple of months in Empire were a little rough for me just because I was learning so many new things and I felt like everything I was doing, I was not doing it the way I was supposed to be doing it. And it's a reflection of how much knowledge you're going to gain from being an Empire, from being surrounded by, of course, you, Dylan, Adele, and your fellow peers, right? You're just going to be getting in so much knowledge that you're going to keep challenging and building yourself up. And
that is great to hear.
Yeah, based on the foundation I built from June onward, I was never worried, right? If I put in the effort of the 9 to 5 that I put into my fitness coaching, it would expand double. So it's not a stability thing, it's a passion thing.
There you go. Okay, so it's a passion thing. And as of right now, you've capped yourself at 30 clients. That's how many people that you currently work with. You're getting those leads, from Instagram like we taught you. How did the sales side of things inside of Empire Blueprint help you? And have you found your sales style change dramatically? Was that one of the main things that really allowed you to start to capture more of the leads that were coming through?
Yeah. So, you can characterize sales on a spectrum, the two extremes being you really don't know how to sell something, you just get off a call, you just answer and ask random questions. And the other side being you're really, really salesy, which really comes off as off-putting, right? Empire taught me that perfect balance, right? How do you want people to understand that, hey, you can help them to realize that these are the problems they face, these are the solutions, and this is what the path forward looks like, without putting too much pressure on them, to just guide them into making the decision that's best for them, right? So the way I talk to clients has completely changed, right? There's this aspect that now involves, hey, this is, of course, I'm here as you're interested in my fitness coaching, and I'm here to sell you my fitness coaching, right? As any fitness coach would do. But it's also like, I'm going to sell it to you only if I think I can help you and if I am the right coach for you. And if I feel like being on this journey with me, we are going to make the goals that you want accomplished.
Yeah. There's that element of care that has to come into it. And that's what you should bring into it as a coach. You should have like a deep level of investment in your clients. You really do care for their well-being, and that starts on that sales call, or it even starts earlier than that when you're setting them up for a sales call. And I think that what you said is really important, because some people will have too much of the care and none of the skill to actually close the deal. And then some people will have so much of the skill, but they actually don't care. And so sometimes they can pull in people, but they're not the right people for the program. It's just a money grab. And so there is that delicate balance between the two, where if you're a coach and you really do care for your clients, you really do have heart behind it, you have passion behind it, which I can see it from you just emanating out as you speak about the business that you've built and the situation that you have set up for yourself now. It's really, really cool to see. You have worked on developing that skill and being able to tie the two together so that when you genuinely care about somebody, you can use the right verbiage, you can use the right tactics in order to get them to realize that it is the best decision for them. And I think that some people hesitate to push further into the sales side of things because it's a little bit difficult to put a little bit more pressure on somebody. But at the end of the day, they do need to understand that it is a big decision and that they are specifically on that sales call with you because there was some sort of cry for help. Like they needed something and they've been stuck. And a lot of times when you dive into their pain points, you find out that people have been stuck for years. And so it's up to you to be able to kind of shake them out of that apathy and show them, hey, this is what's going to help you get to where you need to go. So really, really well said on that front. I think that that's beautiful.
So may I add something to that?
Of course.
So just on a numbers side, I would say among the people I do want to help who hop on a call with me, I close over 90% of them. Okay.
Wow.
Easy, right? Just from what I've learned. The second aspect is, if you are somebody who was like me, whoever's watching this, if you felt like, oh, you don't want to come off as too salesy, you don't want to push people, even if you don't want to use the word pressure, right? You don't want to pressurize people. I would not even characterize it as pressure. I would characterize it as guiding somebody into the right step and direction for their lives, right? So, when I have these sales calls and somebody's a little uncertain, it's not about pressurizing them and forcing them into a direction. It's more like, hey, let's talk it through. Why are you a little scared? Why are you a little nervous? What is causing you to be that way? Okay? And then we address their concerns. And then, that makes them feel more confident in you. So, if you look at it in a very bleak sense, you are a salesman, right? But if you look at it in a positive, optimistic sense, you are somebody that people are going to look up for the rest of their lives if you are going to help them make the change they want. Your one touch in their life for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, however long they're with you, can change the entire trajectory of the next 16 years for them.
Yep. That is very, very powerful. And was there anything specifically? So you said that you moved from India when you were young, correct?
That's correct.
Was there anything that happened in your childhood or with your parents that really pushed you to be like as aspirational as you are today? Like, because this isn't something that somebody normally does. Like, let's be honest here. Like, working 2 side hustles while being married and working the 9-to-5 job, there's a lot going on there. And most people don't have the drive to go out there and pursue their passions in their free time. They'd rather be more apathetic, more passive, and waste their time doing other things that are, time sucks. In your situation, what's been the driving factor to continue to like push forward? Did your childhood play a role in that? And then how do your family and friends see you?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting question, right? When I was a child, I was not a very serious person, right? Up until the end of college. Okay, I just did whatever I wanted. I didn't listen to anybody. I didn't care about people. I was just very selfish. And I wouldn't say selfish, but when it came to certain things, I just wanted things done my way. I didn't really care about helping people, etc. Over time, as I matured, I realized there is more to this world than me. And then I learned about helping people through fitness. I helped my friends out at the gym, etc. when I was working out in college, towards the end of it, etc. In 2022, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called ulcerative colitis. That was kind of the turning point for me, because there was no fitness coach who could properly help me with my training, with my nutrition, etc. And I was in like this weird situation where I felt like I was helpless, and I felt like there's nothing out there for me. I've got to figure out everything out on my own. I don't have the support I wanted from any professional out there, right, that I explored. And so that made me really study fitness on the personal training side, on the nutrition side, so I could help people and make sure people who wanted help never felt like I felt in that situation, that always felt supported, and they could always achieve their health goals. They didn't have to worry about health. They didn't have to worry about fitness. It could be easily made integrated into their lives. So everything I've done has been deliberate, in the sense that I did a PhD because I was passionate about what I studied during my PhD. That's what made me apply for the program, get in there. That was a choice I made after thinking about whether I really enjoy doing it or not, right? And so I went for the PhD. And that ended up being my 9-to-5 job after. Then with fitness, I got really passionate about it after I got diagnosed, right? And I thought about, I do want to help people achieve their health goals. I want to make them feel supported. So that's what I pursued there, right? On a less serious note, I like wearing nice things. I like wearing expensive watches. I like living a luxurious lifestyle, right? And so for me, the next step was watch trading. I want other people to enjoy the watches that I enjoy. I want them to have access to it. I don't want somebody, because you can walk into a store right now and they'll say, we don't have watches for you. You don't deserve to be one of our clients. Nobody should have to feel that way. And so that was the next step for me. And so in some aspect or the other, it's always been about helping somebody. Even with my PhD, a lot of the research I did was about helping groups of people.
There you go. And your page that you've been growing for the watch side of things, has Empire Blueprint, the content side of things, helped you out with that a lot?
I walked into that Instagram page not knowing what's going to happen. I was like, I've learned so much from Empire. I've implemented on my fitness page. I have over 100,000 followers. Let's give it a run. Soon as I started posting content, it just flew quickly. It's after being in the program, it becomes like second nature. You don't have to think about it actively of, oh, how do I create content? How do I appeal to a mass audience? Right? How can I pique
Yep.
people's interests? How can I tell what to talk about? How do I frame my hook? How do I frame the body of something? How do I keep their attention to the entire video?
There you
It's
go.
crazy.
It does start to become automatic after you've made so much of it.
And it was kind of a nice proof of concept, because if I, God forbid, lose my fitness page, because you know how Instagram and YouTube can be sometimes, I would not even feel stressed about it. I just hop on, create a new page, and I know it would do well.
There you go. Yeah, and Dylan essentially did that when he first started his fitness coaching business, which is cool because it's proof of concept. You know, I've been posting consistently for 7 years, and that kind of shows, hey, if you're consistent with something for long enough, you'll figure it out. But then what Dylan shows is that if you learn exactly how to do it, you can become successful in a very short period of time, and you can build up your page, you can start getting leads, you can turn the viewers into buyers for a product that you ultimately put together yourself. And yeah, it is a system. You start to become better at it over time, because when you don't understand how it works, you know, when you don't learn what we teach you inside of Empire Blueprint, a lot of it from the outside just really looks like luck. It's like, oh, he got like a lucky roll of the dice and just happened to get a lot of followers. Oh, and it just happens that it's a type of content that, you know, brings qualified buyers to the table. No, like you can stumble upon it for sure. But at the same time, there are a lot of tools that you need to build up with your content, with your sales skills, with the overall productization, with your offer, targeting your ICA. There's so many different skills that you need to build up that are all going to act like tools inside of your tool belt.
And you know, that's a great point, and that's exactly what separates the people who make it and the people who don't. And you could think of this in any scenario. You could use any number of metaphors, right? We'll stick to the fitness world and the fitness coaching world. Like if you go to the gym for 3 months and you had the goal of building 20 pounds of muscle and you don't see it, you stop, you're never going to reach the next 18, 15 pounds of muscle, right?
Yep.
And so you always end up being the guy who never built those 20 pounds of muscles because you stopped at 12 weeks, versus the people who stayed consistent for 2.5 years, 3 years, 4 years look like Brandon, right? And the same thing with fitness coaching, right? It's going to be not all, now everything's not going to fly as soon as you start doing it, right? It's going to take some time to build up, right? But that's what separates all the hundreds of fitness coaches who fail out. You never hear about them, but everybody knows who Brandon Clark is. Everybody knows who Higher Up Wellness is. Everybody knows who, you know, OB Health is, right? Because they stuck, they learned, they implemented, they knew. 7 years of consistency is what you said, right? It's not, the first 3 years might have sucked. Maybe the first 5 years might have sucked. Maybe things picked up the 6th and 7th year, right? But that's where the difference comes, right? And so, you know, I would say to anybody watching this again, stick to it, man, or woman. Like, it's going to be rough, or it's going to be amazing the first year. We don't know. But, you know, year 2 can make the difference for you. Year 3 can be the breakthrough year. But once you stop, you'll never achieve it, because it's reps, it's repetition. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yep. And I really want to put emphasis on that. These skills that you build up inside of Empire Blueprint, or trying to build a fitness coaching business in general, are so applicable to every other area of your life, whether it's making improvements at your job and like working your way up a corporate ladder, or making content for some other sort of business that's completely unrelated to fitness. It's like these are skills that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life. And Ollie here has taken those and applied it to the watch side of things, you know, like dealing luxury watches. That is exactly what, like how a lot of people make a lot more money, and that's how it's a very, very popular thing on social media. So the content helps with that. Like, I mean, even the sales aspect, everything is going to play a role in really rounding you out as a more skillful, capable person. What does your friend group think about all of these other things that you have your your hands in. And does your family say anything about this, or are you a pretty private person? Do you keep all this kind of to the side, or do they know that you've got all this stuff going on?
So I am. So I am a very private person, but I also throw in hints of things I'm doing on my private social media page, so people have an understanding of what my life is a little bit. So I have a very supportive family, ranging from my wife to my parents to my in-laws. Everybody supports whatever venture I want to do. They're like, do it. You have my backing 100%. Tell me what you need from me. Even my close group of friends, they're supportive. They're like, you need something, let us know. I know you're gonna do it. But you're always gonna get haters along the line. People you thought were your friends.
Indeed.
They won't follow your page. They won't like your content. Nothing, right? It's a part of the process. You'll have among the 20 friends you think you have, 5 of them are going to really stick it out with you. The remaining 15, they'll be there for the good times, but you're not going to see them when shit's bad, right? When you're starting off, when you have 100 followers, don't expect them to follow you. But when you hit 100,000 followers, suddenly those same 15 people are hitting follow, liking your page, asking you about fitness coaching.
I love it, dude. I love it because I've lived it. I hear it, and it's true.
It's hilarious, right? When you need their support, they're not there. When you don't need their support, they all show up. But to answer your question a little more is, my friends who are close to me, they do know I'm a hustler. They do know I will do what it takes to achieve the goals I have set in place. There is no doubt in their minds. They've been with me for years, 10, 15, 20 years. They've seen everything I've done. They've seen how I operate. And they're okay with it. So I had a really close friend from college visit me here with his fiance. And there were times I just have to pop off midway through the day because I wanted to get work done. I did not want to let things... I wanted to meet with my clients, right, out of passion. Again, I could have rescheduled all those meetings if I wanted to. I made a deliberate choice, to take 2 or 3 hours every day off to myself, to meet with my clients, to check in on them, to continue, because their motivation is a consequence of my actions, 100%. Right? There's something called internal and external motivation. Internal motivation only lasts a little bit. There are a lot of times you need that external motivation. And handling friends, handling social life is very doable. So I like to film my content fresh every day for the next day. But when I'm traveling or have friends visiting, it takes 5 extra minutes to film a second video a day. And so the week before, I'll just film 2 or 3, one extra piece of content. So I'm kind of free. I have good balance there, and it's very achievable.
The real friends are going to be the ones that stick it out. Don't expect support from everybody, especially when you're starting, because they'll eventually, if you become successful, they might flip around, but you'll really see who the real ones are when you do start on a journey like this. That's for sure. With all of these things that you've chosen to do, number one, I'll ask you about this. What has it been like being able to just be so much more financially comfortable in your life because of this hard work that you're putting in on the side? And what exactly do you do with the money that maybe you wouldn't be able to do? Does it give you extra peace of mind? Is there anything along those lines that you can kind of give us a look at?
I invest most of my money I make, and it's out of choice, right? I could buy whatever I wanted. It would not affect any of my future investment returns. I'm at a point where if I don't invest a single dollar, I'm still going to retire really well right now. I'm set, right? But I like to keep investing money. I like to keep growing it. And the important thing is, the first year of fitness coaching, not the first year, the first 6 months, June to last December, I reinvested almost every single dollar I made back into the business to grow it.
Wow.
So, that's what I like to do with my money is I like to make it grow. So, and sometimes that means taking a hit. Like you might not get paid the $2 or $3 or $4 or $5,000 the first 3 months. Because you want to invest it in your business, but that can, give you 3x, 4x, 5x returns. And so that's what I kind of like to do with the income I make. Of course, last year on a whim, I went and went with my wife and we bought her a luxury watch, but without thinking about it for a second. So that also opens the opportunity, right? The stability that comes from it, the extra income, it can go a long way. I know, like, I have very expensive taste, very, very expensive taste, and it's very hard for me to control my urges. Like, I want to buy a new watch for myself every month, right? And I bought a Rolex in February, right?
That's
And
awesome.
20 days later, I'm like, babe, I'm going to buy another watch. It's crazy. It
Yeah.
could be done. It could be done.
It gets addicting. It's like
It
getting
is.
tattoos almost. When you get one, you just want to jump right to the next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and and it's not like I have a watch, I have a new watch I can wear every day of the week and more if I wanted to. It's
Yeah.
not a need, right? It's more a want. And it gives you the opportunity to explore things like that, right? I find a balance. Like, I'll do a watch a year for myself, and I'll reinvest the money into the business or into my retirement or whatever else comes along that I find interesting.
There
So
you go.
I
Awesome.
think,
So expensive taste, living a little bit of the higher lifestyle. You bought yourself a Rolex. You bought your wife a Rolex as well. Trips? Like, do you tend to go anywhere?
um, not really, not a big traveler on my end. I prefer things on my wrist more than I do on my photos in my camera, but it is on the agenda. Like, it's definitely opportunity, but I think last year when I was growing, I was more focused on staying at home and keep growing, right?
Yeah.
And rather than traveling, etc. And we had just moved to Washington D.C. We both just got new jobs, and so there's a lot of instability. There's a lot of new things to do, and so living in DC has been kind of like an extended vacation because I don't know if you've been here, but there's so much to do here, museums, things to explore. And so we kind of do that. But we really haven't done any trips, and it's my fault. I've just been really invested in growing and growing and growing. And the way I think about it is I'd rather sacrifice the economy class ticket and the mediocre hotel to Europe or Japan for the next 5 years for the first class plane ticket, the 5-star, 6-star, 7-star hotels in Dubai, and in wherever, in France, the expensive shopping trips, versus just, I can't eat at this restaurant right now because we're limited, or I can't eat at a Michelin star every single day. Whereas if I wait for 5 more years, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I could drop everything, fly out the next evening if I wanted to, stay at the best of hotels. And so, I think the mindset of reinvestment and regrowth is just so important for me that I don't really latch onto my money as like, hey, I just need all of this in my savings. It's a mix. I want to save some just for my nest in the future, but I also want to keep reinvesting, and that's what I think most people should do. Forgo the temptation to buy a luxury car, to buy that first watch right now, because you can have 10 watches a year after 5 years versus one watch every 5 years.
I think that's great advice. You're still in your season of grind. And I appreciate that you kind of see that as, hey, I'm investing for the future and I'm investing back into the business. I'm investing in myself and my skills. I think that is always the best mentality to have. Yeah. And I think and how old are you again?
31.
So you're 31 years old right now. You want to be balling out in your mid 30s, and then late 30s. So that's very exciting. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, just in general, words of inspiration for anybody looking to start their online coaching business, or just in general trying to figure out what direction to go in life and kind of what their purpose is and their passion?
Yeah. I think, most people who are in the fitness space or who want to get into the fitness space are aware of Alex Hormozi, right? He spent so many days sleeping on gym floors. He spent so many days building a business where he didn't have a lot of success, right? And I think you should use that as motivation. The first year, the first 5 years, the first 5 months, it depends on each person, it could be bleak. It could be marvelous. We don't know, but I would say just to not give up, keep reinvesting, keep believing. Like, what happens is people lose faith in themselves, and that's when they give up. right? They say, oh, I'm unique. It's working for everybody else, but it's not working for me. What they don't see is Brandon put in 7 years of work to make $100,000 a month, right? He probably made nothing his first year. I think he probably didn't make as much, not even close to as much, right? You never knew Brandon. I didn't know Brandon 7 years ago. I didn't know where he started. I only see Brandon 100K a month, and you kind of don't let that make you lose motivation. Don't compare yourself to somebody who's already established. Use that as your motivation to get there, because then you're just comparing apples and oranges, right? And then you tend to give up easy, right? Let's say you join Empire Blueprint. Your peer makes X amount of money before you do. Use that as motivation. Support them. They'll support you back. And they've probably been in the program longer than you have. They've probably honed their skills so well that it's just easy for them to mint money, right? They just know what to do, how to do it. Reinvest in stuff. Like, don't be attached to your money. Let it go if it has to go. Like, I spent my first couple of months buying all this stuff, like spending thousands of dollars on equipment to improve my content, right? And it paid off so much. Like, people think of things as an expense. Think of it as an investment that pays dividends in the future. Yeah, the camera cost me $2,000 or whatever. And it was not the month I wanted because of the expense, but that $2,000 camera made me $15,000 in the next 3 months or whatever. You get the point, right?
Yep.
So make
get it.
smart financial decisions for your business, and with your product, be very, very good. Be very passionate about the product you build. And this is one thing I learned from you actually while watching some of the modules in Empire. And while looking at your channel, while talking about it through our calls, is, make something so unique to you that people are, if they ever leave for some reason, or they ever consider a different coach, they know exactly that, hey, nobody can beat Ali, nobody can beat Brandon. I might have explored somebody for 1 month, or my friends might have explored somebody for a month and I would have learned what they're doing, but that's not even close to what Ali or Brandon are doing. So I built so many videos for my clients that only my clients have access to, right? They're well edited, they're well shot, good camera, good lighting, good information, just so they keep learning, right? And that simple thing distinguishes me so much from other fitness coaches, because they know there's somebody who's putting in work for them. They know there's somebody invested. They're just getting, it might not even seem so relevant to somebody from the outside, but for somebody who just gets an automated video every week from me about something new in fitness, about how to manage their calories and their weight loss when eating out without ruining progress, it can be life-changing for them. That's information they stick onto for the rest of their life.
For sure. Well, that's great, man. I love to see how your passion for this has helped you in all these different areas of life, how you've been able to become so successful with it. It's great to have you inside of Empire Blueprint as an inspiration to, all the other people in there. And I look forward to seeing where you are with all of your passions, 5 to 10 years from now. And if you're taking that bougie trip to Europe.
I'm confident, man. I'm going to crush it. I have no doubt in my mind. And everybody who's considering joining Empire, or even if you're already in it and you're watching, stick through it, man. Attend the calls, attend the live calls with Dylan, with Brandon, with Adele. They're life-changing. They will change the way you program, the way you think. It will do so much for your business. Stick to it and don't give up.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much for coming on, Ollie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.